Yes,
Lou.
yes, yes. Let's go. Let's
Hey,
go.
Lou.
Lou, check this out. It's about
To
to go
go down.
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 Let's go. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. I'm feeling the love.
Woo.
I'm feeling the energy. Let's go.
Lou, Kathy, if you don't mind, I got to start this one off. Lou, here's what I love about you. You are Mr. International Flavor. Forget what Pitbull said, right? You are Mr. International, right? And I love how you bring this international flavor and culture to all your ideas. And so I'm sure there's a lot of people who kind of have these, let's call them local ideas. How do you encourage people to bring a little bit of their own unique culture into the ideas they might have?
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Mark. I came in just in time to hear two of the idea talks. I heard George drop it, and I also heard Cindy drop it. So kudos to your community. Kudos to all of you speakers, and the fact that I'm able to just drop in and maybe make a deposit in your consciousness as you go about doing your thing. That's all a blessing. So I'm grateful. I talk about roots all the time, Mark. You know this. Kathy, you know this. I talk about roots. Roots are who you are, wings are who you can become. So when we're talking about who you are, the essence, the fingerprint that you have, the soul print that you have, that comes from your environment, your upbringing, the very fact that the odds were 400 trillion to one for us to be alive, to be on this spinning blue dot, right? Where does that DNA come from? Where does your flavor comes from? Because at the end of the day, you have to know who you are, you have to own who you are, you have to share who you are, and then you have to blend who you are with the rest of the world. So I think it's always a fundamental baseline for all of us to own who we are and manifest it in everything that we do because we're human being before we are human doing.
Mm. Oh, love this.
That's it.
So, Lou, one of the things that, in our space where we're speakers and we're out there talking to other people, ideas are everything, right? Because you don't teach people that's things that have been taught already. You have to find a new way to tell people the same stuff, right? To talk a
Yes.
little bit about that, because you do that so well.
I appreciate that. I think ideas to me are a call to action. What is possible? And coming from uh, an authentic source, and I'll tell you mine in a minute. Mine comes from pain. It's amazing growing up in the Congo, Central Africa, being surrounded by amazing human beings with such organic brilliance, but no opportunity to showcase their brilliance. Talent is universal, opportunity is not. So for me, the number one tragedy in this entire world is unrealized potential. We
Mm,
are playing this game of life. Half of our team is not even on a field, right?
mm,
The Einsteins that we will never meet, the Oprahs that we will never meet, they're all over this world. There's a genius kid, I'm sure, right now in Guatemala that has an eye and a mind for solving cancer, but we will never meet her. There's someone right now in Brazil that can make a difference that we will never know, right? Unrealized potential is my biggest pain. And to me, it is humanity's greatest tragedy. So, Kathy, when you ask me about where my ideas come from, it comes from that gap. How do we democratize opportunity for everyone so that we can have a chance to actually see all that we are capable of? So, with that in mind, right, that is what fertilizes any idea that comes from me and hopefully your listeners as well, right? Because that is authentically who we are and it will birth the best call to action, also
mm,
known as ideas.
mm.
My goodness, every time you talk, I'm in a different stratosphere.
Let's
Lou,
go.
now you know I have a background in education, right? And when you were talking about the little child in Guatemala who's got the cure for cancer, but is, we don't know who that child is. Speak to people like educators,
Yeah,
parents.
yeah.
How do we find that child? Tell us.
Oh, I appreciate
Ooh.
that very much. Um, Unfortunately, in our history, we were colonized by Belgium. The Congo was colonized by Belgium. And the education system that I grew up under was incredibly damaging. And I'll tell you why. It was rote learning, where
Mm,
we were treated as empty vessels, and teachers were all knowing and they were supposed to put knowledge inside of our heads. And our job was to regurgitate whatever they taught us so we can actually pass our grades, right? And so to me, that is a huge miss because, as you know, Mark, the best way to get to the unknown is from the known. The known is the source to get to the unknown because that's a reference point. So, an educator's job is to first bring out what the students have, their magic, their story.
mm,
Then you're able to attach any
yeah.
new information. Then, when Kathy gives me an idea, I can actually put it somewhere. When you give me an idea, I can actually have a point of reference, right? So you have to start with the known to get to the unknown, right? So when you see that student coming in, or when you see that kid just walking on a sidewalk because they don't have a chance to go to school, know that there is genius within them. There is
Mm,
genius within them. So don't bring any answers yet. Ask them question. Let them tell you. Let them lead. And then you can bring all of the extra knowledge that you've accumulated to help that individual accelerate. So we find genius wherever we look. And our first job is to first bring it out. Then we can bring all the other knowledge.
I love that you said this, Lou, because part of what I'm always trying to do when I'm working with somebody to give a TED talk, I'm like, you might have an idea that a lot of people have talked about, but what's your perspective, your unique perspective that nobody else has? Nobody else has the same exact viewpoint that you have, the experiences that you have, no matter who you are. They have a very specific set of circumstances in that field or whatever that idea is about. And so I love that you're talking about everybody has a unique angle. Everybody has something in their head. Everybody has something that they have a good idea about. Anybody watching right now, you're like, oh my gosh, could I ever give a TED talk? Yes, absolutely. There's something that you know in a different way that nobody else does. So I love that. I love that you brought that up, Lou. And I'm just curious, like when you're, with your own ideas or with your own kids, because now your kids are getting older and they've
Yep.
been educated in the American system now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do you help even cultivate those ideas? You have something, like what are you doing to cultivate?
To me is an anchor. You got to find an anchor in everyone. What really drives them? And I'll tell you one of my biggest ideas, and I find ways to translate that to others. Um, Humanity is everything. You've heard me talk about Ubuntu ad nauseum. How amazing would it be if this world had no borders? I've
Hmm.
never believed in borders. You and I inherited this world. How can you claim Mother Earth? How can
Hmm.
arbitrary lines separate me from Mark? How can
Hmm.
arbitrary lines separate me from Kathy? How can a beautiful waterfall can be where Kathy lives. And because I don't quote unquote, I'm not from there and I don't have a passport, I will never enjoy the waterfall that Kathy found on this earth. So I don't believe in borders. I believe in united people of the world. That's my
Hmm.
vision. That's my ultimate idea. So, how do we elevate humanity above all of the man made differences. I am not different from you, Mark. I am different like you, right? So the idea
Mm.
is our
Mm.
differences is the superpower, right? So when I'm talking to my kids, I meet them where they are. I basically tell them, hey, your humanity is our connection point. Your
Mm.
difference is your superpower. So we
Oh,
need that, right? And so that
oh.
is the big umbrella idea. And then I find micro ways to make them operational with my kids.
Mm.
Oh my
I know
goodness.
Liz out here like dropping lines.
Yo, how do you do it? How do you do it? We did a whole episode of It's About to Go Down, which took about an hour, right? Check out YouTube, check it out for anybody who hasn't watched it. And yet, you don't even need an hour.
Yeah.
All we took was 11 minutes, and you just dropped fire after fire after fire after fire.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you for bringing that out of me. I appreciate it.
You're
I'm
welcome,
grateful.
Lou.
I'm
You're
grateful.
welcome.
I'm grateful.
Lou, take us home as we now go over the 11-minute mark. Take us home with either a word of wisdom or a story of wisdom or something for us to think about long after our space here that makes us feel
Mm.
as united as you say we are.
I appreciate that, my friend. Every morning we wake up, two things are true every single morning, including this morning. One, today is the closest we will ever be to the end. Every single thing we care about, today is the closest we will ever be to the end. In other words, there's finality to everything. The woman that you see behind me, God gave her 29 years to be on this planet.
Mm.
And I was 4 years old when she transitioned. Every day, we're closer to the end. To me, that's a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you why. Because it gives us a sense of urgency. I don't trust tomorrow. So I'm going to tell you that I love you today because I don't know what I have for me, right? So that beautiful sense of urgency. What makes life valuable is that it ends. You know that favorite song that you like? If it wasn't more than 3 minutes and 17 seconds, you're gonna get sick of it. And the beauty of the song is that it ends. You know, your favorite movie, you like it because it was only 2 hours, right? So finality helps us appreciate life. If I give you a bouquet of flower, you would like it because in 7 days it's gone. Because if you wanted
Mm.
something that lasts forever, I would give you plastic flowers, but they won't have any meaning. They won't have any meaning, right? So the urgency's there. The second thing that is true every morning is that here's a day that wasn't promised to us, and yet we get it.
Mm.
In other words, you get one more chance to say I love you. You get one more chance to hug your kids. You get one more chance to smell the flowers. You get one more chance, right? So that's gratitude. So when you bookend your day with urgency and gratitude, now you don't get through the day, you get from the day. That's it.
Mm. Ooh, I love that so much.
That's
Ooh,
it.
Listen, Lou, you see what happened?
you knocked the lights out.
You shut down
Let's
over.
go. Let's go.
No,
That's
Lou,
it.
this was so great. Thank you for sharing just a little bit of the wisdom that is in your head. I'm grateful for this final thing that you said. And anybody who doesn't know about Lou Radja yet, please go check out his website, just www.louradja.com. You're amazing. Thank you for being on today, Lou. Thanks for
I,
sharing your wisdom with us.
I appreciate y'all. Love the community. SSA, let's go. Let's go.
Thank you.